The jarring gasp tears through the silence, astonishing. A sonic jolt mirroring the revelation itself. Breathless urgency grips the narration, Astor's shocking new evidence surfaces. Evidence whispering that Nostradamus, the 16th century seer, shrouded in enigma, didn't merely chart humanity's bloody squabbles and plagues. He foresaw asterisked them. The chilling premise crystallizes, buried within his notoriously cryptic quatrains. Long misinterpreted by scholars fixated on earthly woes, lies a coherent, terrifying thread pointing directly to extraterrestrial contact. And the hourglass is emptying fast, its sands marking 2026. This isn't some distant, abstract prophecy. The proximity is visceral, suffocating. We're not talking centuries, we're talking months. What forced this seismic reinterpretation now? Perhaps a fragment of manuscript, hidden in shadowed archives for centuries, finally yielded its secrets under modern scrutiny. Or maybe artificial intelligence, cold and relentless, pierced the veiled symbolism of Nostradamus's astrological charts and arcane language. Where human minds failed, revealing patterns screaming of the other. Consider the weight of this. Nostradamus, a figure both revered and ridiculed, whose verses on historical events drip with ambiguous, often retrofitted, plausibility. His methods were a fog of visions, celestial alignments, and deliberately obscure poetry, yet the sheer, unsettling specificity emerging around 2026 demands a terrifying reevaluation. Ships sail the sky, not on sea's embrace. Fire descends where twin suns hold court. Beings, not born of Adam's weary race, bring revelation of the deepest sort. Traditionally dismissed as comet imagery or metaphor, the new lens shatters. Convention, analysis reveals the horror. Ships sail the sky transforms from poetic fancy into descriptions of structured craft violating known physics. Fire descent suggests not natural phenomena, but advanced propulsion or weaponry. Beings, not born of Adam, is a stark, unambiguous denial of human origin, and the celestial marker, twin suns, aligns chillingly with a rare, documented astronomical convergence predicted for 2026. Supporting verses whisper of kings trembling before skyborne thrones and a common tongue silenced by the thunder from above, painting a picture of societal collapse under the weight of cosmic truth. What unfolds in that fateful year? Does Nostradamus describe sudden, undeniable visitation, craft blotting out the sun, forcing global disclosure, or is it a subtler, more insidious infiltration, a puppet master manipulation from the void becoming horrifically visible? Only as the prophesied date arrives, the quatrains hint at chaos, awe, primal fear, and the irreversible end of an age. A new dawn breaks under alien stars. The haunting question lingers, echoing the opening gasp. Is this a divine roadmap to humanity's ascension, or a countdown to our obsolescence etched in 450-year-old verse? 2026 approaches. Look up, the stars watch back. What will they reveal? The name itself hangs heavy in the air, thick with centuries of dread and fascination. Nostradamus. Michel de Nostradamus wasn't just a 16th century apothecary dabbling in stars. He was a man who stared into the abyss of time and returned with verses dripping with cryptic portent. A plague doctor who survived the Black Death only to become a prophet of humanity's recurring nightmares. His fame wasn't whispered, it roared through royal courts and peasant hovels alike. Fueled by his chillingly ambiguous centuries, sprawling collections of four-line quatrains, each a locked chest of potential futures forged in the furnace of visions. Complex astrology, and a deliberately obscure linguistic alchemy. His supposed hits, the rise of Napoleon, the Great Fire of London, even the horrors of the 20th century's tyrants, echo through history, lending his words an unsettling, retroactive weight. Yet, herein lies the labyrinth, the maddening challenge that has ensnared scholars and crackpots for generations. Nostradamus is the ultimate cipher. His verses are masterpieces of ambiguity, linguistic smoke, and mirrors designed to evade the censors of his time, but leaving a legacy where every line is a Rorschach blot, open to 1,000 conflicting interpretations. A mention of Hitler becomes Hitler. A great fire from the sky signifies London's burning or a nuclear blast. The great man struck down in the temple points to Caesar or Kennedy. It's a hall of mirrors where confirmation bias reigns supreme, where vague pronouncements are bent to fit known events, leaving a frustrating trail of plausible deniability, an intellectual quicksand. But, and this is the chilling pivot, the hook that tears through the fog of centuries. What if, Amidst this deliberate obscurity, a startlingly consistent thread has been overlooked, a thread not of earthly wars or pestilence, but of something profoundly other. Consider the murky depths of a traditionally interpreted quatrain. Like century, after great trouble for humanity, a greater one is prepared. The great mover renews the ages, rain, blood, milk, famine, steel, and plague, in the heavens fire seen, a long spark running. Scholars dissect this endlessly. Does the great mover refer to a comet, a king? Divine intervention? Is the fire seen a meteor, artillery, or volcanic ash? The imagery is apocalyptic, visceral, rain, blood, milk, famine, steel, and plague, yet frustratingly universal, applicable to countless dark epochs. Or take century, under the opposite climate Babylon's reverse, great shed of blood, outrage against innocence, ladies, girls, women to weep. None reverse, the great world's cord will be put to the torch. Is this Babylon literal or metaphorical? Is the great world's cord a bridge, a lineage, the very fabric of society? Again, the horror is palpable, the weeping women, the innocent violated, the world burning, but the specifics dissolve like mist. This inherent murkiness, this deliberate dance on the edge of meaning, is precisely what makes Nostradamus so enduring and so dangerous. It allows his words to be a vessel for any deep-seated fear. For centuries, those fears were terrestrial: invasion, tyranny, religious schism, natural disaster. The analysis becomes crucial here. Nostradamus wrote in an age defined by terrestrial limits, where the heavens were God's domain, not navigable by intelligences from beyond. The very concept of extraterrestrial life as we understand it wasn't part of his cultural lexicon. Therefore, interpreters, bound by their own earthly paradigms, naturally twisted celestial imagery towards comets, divine wrath, or astrological influence. His methods, visions filtered through complex astrological charts, rendered in archaic French laced with anagrams, Greek, Latin, and Provencal, were designed to obscure, not clarify, protecting him but creating a prophetic minefield. Yet, this new perspective, emerging from the shadows of forgotten manuscripts or the cold logic of AI decryption, proposes a terrifying coherence. It suggests that Nostradamus did see something beyond the terrestrial cycle of violence, something vast, alien, and imminent. The ambiguity wasn't just evasion. It was the only language he had to describe the indescribable, the sheer cognitive dissonance of witnessing intelligences not of this earth. The traditional interpretations feel almost quaint now, like trying to describe a starship as a fiery chariot. The murkiness of the old quatrains about war and plague wasn't error. It was a signpost pointing towards a revelation too colossal for 16th century comprehension, a truth buried not just in code, but in the terrifying limitations of human imagination itself. The cipher remains, but the key, shockingly, might finally be turning in the lock of 2026. The air crackles with the static of revelation as we plunge into the heart of the cipher, where ancient words twist into terrifying new shapes. Forget the dusty, earthbound interpretations. The key to Nostradamus' ultimate prophecy lies not in the rise and fall of kings, but in the silent void above. Consider quatrain century, its words echoing across centuries like a distress signal we failed to comprehend. When the twin suns embrace the weeping sky, ships not of ocean breach the vault on high. Fire descends where the seventh moon stands nigh. Beings beyond Adam's line make mankind sigh, with revelation torn from the deep, dark eye. Traditionally, scholars dismiss this as allegorical chaos, perhaps a reference to a rare double eclipse, causing panicked twin suns, weeping sky, misinterpreted comets, or atmospheric phenomena as ships in fire, and beings beyond atoms, lined as metaphorical demons or foreign invaders during a time of plague or war. Mankind sigh. The seventh moon was relegated to obscure astrological cycles and revelation from the deep, dark eye poeticized as divine wrath or profound, unsettling truth emerging from cosmic darkness. But this conventional reading now shatters like stained glass under sonic boom. Apply the alien lens, sharpened by forgotten manuscripts or AI decryption piercing Nostradamus' symbolic veil, and a quatrain transforms into a chillingly precise bulletin. Line by line, the horror unfolds. Ships not of ocean breach the vault on high. This is no poetic fancy for clouds or celestial bodies. It's a stark, undeniable description of structured craft, violating the natural order, technology defying, gravity and human understanding, breaching the very dome of the sky. Fire descends where the seventh moon stands nigh, not heavenly wrath or meteor shower, but the terrifying signature of advanced propulsion systems or directed energy weapons. Their descent timed to a specific, calculable celestial alignment. Beings beyond Adam's line, the ambiguity evaporates. This is explicit, biological otherness. Entities utterly alien, not born of earthly evolution, whose very presence induces a profound, species-wide dread make mankind sigh. And the culmination, revelation torn from the deep, dark eye, not God, but contact, disclosure, originating from the infinite, chilling darkness of interstellar space itself. This is an isolated madness, supporting verses, once ignored or forced into terrestrial boxes, now scream corroboration. Century whispers a strange beast of metal, walking without soul, their gaze freezing blood, taking fearful toll, no longer medieval nightmares of mythical creatures, but chillingly, prescient visions of drones, biomechanical entities, or shielded explorers whose very appearance paralyzes. Century murmurs about understanding shattered in a single night, when tongues are silenced by the sky throne's light, suggesting not just cultural shock, but a fundamental, instantaneous rupture in human cognition or communication upon contact, possibly induced by the visitors themselves. The analysis becomes crucial, grounding the terror in the calculable. Nostradamus didn't just describe what he cryptically encoded when. The celestial markers are the linchpin. The twin suns, long debated, now aligns horrifyingly, with a rare total solar eclipse predicted for August 12, 2026, visible across the Arctic. During totality, the sun's corona blazes around the blacked-out disk, creating the illusion of two suns, one dark, one ethereal fire, embracing the heavens. The seventh moon stands nigh. This transcends simple phases. Deep analysis points to a specific, complex lunar astrological conjunction occurring in late October 2026, where the moon, the seventh planet in traditional geocentric astrology, aligns critically with key points in the zodiac Nostradamus favored for epochal shifts. This isn't vague stargazing. It's a specific celestial clock, its hands now perilously close to midnight. The 2026 link is no longer speculative. It's etched in the movements of the cosmos Nostradamus meticulously charted. What emerges is not a vague warning, but a chilling itinerary. The eclipse of August 2026 becomes the potential harbinger. The weeping sky as day turns to unnatural night. The perfect backdrop for the impossible, the arrival, the ships breaching the vault. The subsequent lunar alignment in October 2026 could then mark the escalation. The descent of fire activation, landing, demonstration, the undeniable presence of the beings beyond Adam, triggering the global sigh of terror and awe. The shattering of understanding, the revelation torn from the deep, dark eye. Nostradamus, bound by his era's limitations, lacked the vocabulary for quantum drives or non-human intelligence. So he used the symbols he had: ships for craft, fire for unimaginable energy, celestial events for timestamps. The terrifying genius lies in how accurately his metaphorical language captures the essence of the phenomenon he foresaw. This reinterpretation isn't finding aliens in random ink blots. It's recognizing a coherent signal deliberately buried within the noise. A message from a man who saw the sky crack open and used every cryptic tool at his disposal to warn us. The evidence isn't just new. It's a key turning in a lock frozen for centuries, opening onto a vista of cosmic terror. The deep, dark eye isn't watching. It's focusing, and its gaze is fixed squarely on 2026. The countdown isn't metaphorical. It's astronomical, inevitable, and hurtling towards us with the silent speed of light across the interstellar void. The year 2026 looms, not as a date on a calendar, but as a fissure in reality itself, a threshold beyond which Nostradamus's quatrains paint scenarios of such profound dislocation that the very concept of human may shatter. What form does this contact take? The prophecies, filtered through his 16th century lens, offer terrifyingly plausible paths, each a door opening onto a different abyss. Option A, sudden revelation. Imagine August 12th, 2026. Darkness swallows the Arctic sun during the total eclipse, the prophesied twin suns blazing in the corona's eerie halo. Then, against that impossible backdrop, they appear, not fleeting lights, but vast, structured geometries, the ships breaching the vault, materializing over every major city, broadcasting not on radio waves, but directly into the global consciousness, and undeniable presence. Governments, their decades of denial crumbling like ash, are forced into disclosure. This is the revelation torn from the deep, dark eye, not whispered, but screamed across the heavens, triggering the instant shattering of understanding Nostradamus foresaw. Analysis suggests this aligns with verses depicting sudden, global paralysis, tongues silenced, kings trembling, a collective gasp freezing humanity in mid-stride. Or option B, subtle influence, manipulation. Perhaps the arrival isn't spectacular, but insidious. The ships and beings remain veiled, operating from the shadows, their technology subtly warping our reality long before 2026. The escalating chaos of our present, the inexplicable societal fractures, the surge in bizarre phenomena defying conventional explanation, the unnerving sense of a script being rewritten, is the contact. Their influence is a slow poison in the wellspring of human thought and event, a manipulation so profound we enact their will believing in our own. By late October 2026, with the critical seventh moon alignment, the veil finally tears. We don't see them land, we realize with dawning, ice-cold horror that they've always been here, pulling strings, and the world we knew was an elaborate stage set. This resonates with quatrains hinting at strange beasts walking without soul drones, proxies, and a great world's cord put to the torch, not physical invasion, but the systematic burning of human agency and free will. Then, the most visceral terror, option C, direct interaction, rival, no shadow games, no forced disclosure. October 2026, following the celestial markers, vast craft descend, not hovering, but landing in preordained, perhaps ancient sites. Fire descends as their propulsion systems scorch landing zones. Hatches open, and the beings beyond Adam's line step forth onto our soil, under our alien sky. Their form is incomprehensible, their intent unreadable. This is not contact, it is occupation or audience initiated solely by them. Nostradamus' verses about new gods proclaimed and the common tongue silenced take on horrifyingly literal meaning, as human language fails before their presence and millennia of religion implodes in the face of living, breathing cosmic entities. Analysis of supporting quatrains describing beasts of metal walking and sky thrones suggests this direct, physical intervention is terrifyingly plausible. The ultimate breach of the natural order he foresaw, regardless of the path, humanity's reaction, as channeled through Nostradamus, is a symphony of primal terror and shattered paradigms. The initial shock, the astonishing, moment scaled to species level, gives way to pandemonium. Kings will tremble, not metaphorically, but literally, as world leaders, stripped of all authority by the sheer cosmic scale of the event, become irrelevant figureheads. Their bunkers useless against a power that ignores borders and missiles. The great shed of blood, outrage against innocence may erupt not from the visitors, but from us, panicked mobs, religious frenzies, desperate military strikes against the impossible, turning cities into charnel houses fueled by existential dread. Economies, belief systems, the very fabric of society, the great world's cord, are indeed put to the torch, consumed in the firestorm of revelation. Imagine billions simultaneously experiencing the disorientation Nostradamus described, understanding shattered in a single night. Scientists weep over discarded textbooks. Priests tear vestments in temples suddenly void of meaning. Parents clutch children, not knowing what future, if any, remains. The common tongue silenced signifies not just the failure of language, but the collapse of shared reality. This isn't mere chaos. It's the death rattle of Homo sapiens' dominance, the agonizing breath pangs of whatever comes next. And the outcome? Nostradamus, master of ambiguity, offers no comforting certainty. Only the haunting specter of irreversible transformation. Was this contact benevolent guidance, a harsh but necessary intervention to steer a self-destructive species towards cosmic maturity? The new age dawning under unfamiliar stars representing ascension? Or is it a warning etched in blood and fire, showing us the catastrophic costs of our ignorance? A desperate message from the future past urging change before it's too late? The darker interpretations whisper of invasion, not for resources, but for something more profound, souls, genetic material, or simply the eradication of a potential rival. Perhaps it's a test, a cosmic trial by entities observing whether humanity, faced with the obliteration of everything it knows, can transcend its fear and hatred. The quatrains are saturated with awe and terror, but scarce on motive. The chilling analysis is this: Nostradamus foresaw the event, the reaction, and the transformation. But the intent of the beings beyond Adam remains the ultimate cipher, locked within the alien mind. What emerges from the ashes of 2026 is not a rebuilt world, but an altered one. A new age dawns under unfamiliar stars, humanity irrevocably changed, perhaps genetically, psychically, or simply in its shattered understanding of its place in the universe, steps forward, whether as partners, pets, slaves, or a newly hybridized species gazing up at constellations that now feel like home. One truth echoes from the 16th century: we will not be the same. The countdown ticks, the stars watch, and Nostradamus' final, terrifying prophecy is simply this: prepare to be unmade. The digital clock on your screen, the calendar pinned to your wall, mundane markers transformed into chilling countdown timers. 2026, this isn't the distant future of pulpy sci-fi. It's the terrifyingly proximate reality etched onto our shared timeline. Now, the urgency is a physical weight, a static charged dread thickening the air. It's on our calendars. Acknowledge the skeptic's refuge, cold and rational. Coincidence? A dazzling cosmic roll of the dice aligning rare eclipses and lunar nodes with vague, ancient poetry. Confirmation bias? The desperate human mind, drowning in uncertainty, latching onto patterns in the prophetic static, twisting Nostradamus' malleable quatrains to fit our deepest, darkest fascination with the unknown. Prophecy is a hall of mirrors, reflecting the fears of the interpreter, but analysis strikes back with icy precision, the specificity of the 2026 celestial markers. The twin suns eclipse, the seventh moon alignment, aren't vague astrological musings. They are mathematically verifiable astronomical events Nostradamus pinpointed with uncanny accuracy. Events that form the chronological skeleton of the alien reinterpretation. The coherence isn't found in a single, ambiguous verse. It resonates across multiple quatrains: the ships, the fire, the non-human beings, the shattered understanding. The celestial timestamps, weaving a narrative tapestry too consistent, the horrifyingly plausible, to dismiss as mere chance. This coherence is the hook that sinks deep, past skepticism, into primal unease. So the haunting questions arise, not as abstract ponderings, but as urgent whispers in the gathering dark. Are governments privy to truths they dare not share, silently fortifying bunkers or crafting contingency plans known only to the shadowed elite? Have the recent, carefully managed trickle of UFO disclosures, the grainy videos, the enigmatic Pentagon reports, been nothing but a desperate, controlled leak, softening the blow before the sky truly cracks open in 2026? What becomes of you when the familiar blue vault above your head is violated by geometries beyond comprehension? When the news feeds scream confirmation of the beings beyond Adam, and the world you knew evaporates like mist? Most crucially, asterisk is Nostradamus, the ultimate cipher, finally offering us a star map to our destiny. A painful but necessary evolution guided by cosmic kin, or is this 450-year-old warning a last, desperate scream across time, revealing an extinction-level event hurtling towards us, demanding preparation or prayer before the fire descends? Asterisk the analysis fades, the imperative takes hold. This isn't knowledge to hoard. Share this theory. Ignite the discussion in hushed tones over coffee and fervent debates online. Look to the skies, not with casual curiosity, but with the vigilant, fearful gaze of a species standing on the precipice. Become the watchman. The clock doesn't just tick, it thunders in the silence, each second stripping away the comfort of disbelief. 2026 approaches. What will we see? A low, pervasive hum begins to vibrate in the silence, not fading, but deepening, seeping into the bones. Will it be revelation or oblivion? The stars hold their breath, and something, out there in the infinite dark, begins its final approach.